Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay. I know I have been terribly inconsistent in uploading videos on YouTube, and I am so sorry, but this video, I promise, will make up for all of that. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with my game, hi. I'm Melodramatic Melissa. I'm a fifth year Nigerian medical. Ugh. I'm a fifth year Nigerian Irish medical student studying medicine in Poland. I know that was a mouthful. And anyway, I am here to deliver you some crucial information. But before that, what I actually do is basically tell people about what it's like studying medicine in Poland. And usually my perspective is from an EU national, but I do try to include information for non EU as well. Okay, so my last video was talking about the UK prioritization bill. I know, very scary, but it has left a lot of people wondering what they can do with their EU medical degree. Of course, we all know that Irish prioritizes Ireland, and it is basically the only EU country which speaks English. So you are more or less left with the option of deciding what language you will prefer to learn. Some people choose German, some people choose Norwegian, and some people choose to go to Malta, spend 2 years there in English, and then choose to go to a different country or just stay in Malta and learn Maltese. But there is another option. There is Poland. To explore this option more, I contacted my senior, Dr. Shanila, who is actually an alumni from my university, and she works in Poland. She has basically accepted to give us a few tips and tricks and basically a guideline of what to do when approaching the Polish stage, aka the Polish internship, which is your first doctor job right after medical school here in Poland. So, Dr. Shanila has gracefully explained how she studied the language of Polish, how she applied to the Polish internship using this website called OIL, how she basically prepared for the NEO medical language exam, and a lot more that kind of details her day in the life of a doctor working here as a foreigner. So this is really important video, and I'm sure you guys will learn a lot from it, because at the end of the day, if you're studying in Poland, there's no reason for you to leave when you are more or less familiar with the country and you have basically made it to your home for 6 years. Yes, the language is terrifying, but it also brings really good rewards. People have said once you know and master the language of Polish, you basically have nothing to worry about anymore. If you're interested in applying for a Polish medical internship, aka your stage, then this video is for you. Also, if you're interested in studying medicine in Poland in English, then I offer one on one consultations. Of course, all of the links spoken in the video and also to my one on one consultations will be in the bio. And without further ado, let's let's go. Also, by the way, this is a Zoom meeting which I recorded, so the audio might be a bit blotchy, but please don't let this distract you from the fact that the information is really important, and I hope it helps someone out there.
So, short introduction first. As you know, I'm Shanila Akhtar Ali, my full name, and I graduated last year, 2025, and I am an intern doctor in VAM, Jeremskiego. I'm sure everyone in this meeting is aware of that hospital. So, yeah, and I didn't start my internship very long ago, just 2, 3 months back. So I'm kind of new to the system as well. But I think I can answer the main questions that people have regarding entering the system, basically. So, firstly, let's start with I have something prepared for you based on the sample questions which Adriana provided me. You guys put in the forms, the things which you wonder about. I have something prepared. I did not plan on a presentation, but looking at the questions, I thought it was necessary so that you guys have some form of record uh, of what you want to know, not just me speaking. So I will show you something first. I hope it's okay. And after that, still, if you have some questions about the topic, then we can do the Q&A session. I hope it's all right. Can I hear a yes or no? Because I'm not sure.
They are unmuted, but they can hear you.
Okay,
I mean, they are
perfect.
muted. Yes, they can hear you.
Okay, I see the thumbs up. Thank you so much. So, perfect. So I will start now. I'll try to share my PowerPoint. Okay, so first slide, nothing important. Dame rade means we will manage Poland. Okay, so here, so what will I be talking about from the beginning? This is a simple outline what I will be talking about. Why Poland? Like exam, I had a lot of questions regarding this exam. Then next, going to learning Polish, uh, graduation to stage, which is internship, word for internship, and how it works. NIL exam, which is a mandatory Polish language medical exam for foreigners to practice in Poland. Internship in Poland, how it looks like, what my typical day looks like as an intern. Specialization in Poland. I kept it as the last, it's basically in the flow of being a student and then becoming a doctor. So, going right into it, why Poland? I will not be having a slide about it, but trust me, most of the reasons were personal for me, as I would rather learn the language of the country I'm familiar with rather than learning the language of another country, which I have no idea about and I have to start with zero. Next reason was residency. As a foreigner, you will understand what are the perks of staying in a country for a certain period of time. And I very much wanted to make use of it. And next thing was I did the lifestyle in Poland. I prefer that over many other regions. The standard of living. There were a lot of general reasons why I chose Poland over another countries, especially UK and Malta. There were many reasons why I didn't choose UK and Malta, even though I kind of almost tried because you know everyone has option B or C. So they were my option Bs. I got into Malta. I got into the I got the invitation letter. I almost accepted it also, but then as I said, I would rather learn the language of the country where I have a long-term future rather than a short-time period, and that's why I did not choose those countries. And that's basically, you know, very basic reasons why I chose Poland rather than going to another countries. I'm from India. I have not lived in India at all, so that was not also an option for me to travel back to completely new culture, new lifestyle. Next, we have the main things which you are here for, LEC exam. So what is LEC exam? Basic, it is the Polish National Medical Licensing exam. It is the exam which every graduate has to pass if you are practicing, planning to practice in Poland. Even if you're not, I'm not very sure and not very 100, I'm not very sure and certain that if you need it for other countries. As far as I know, you do not need it for other countries, except I think, if I'm not wrong, Germany. There is some sort of benefit of doing LEC in Poland in English uh, for people who want to do internship later in Germany. But I'm not very sure about that procedure. I have heard about it, so pardon me. But this exam is national medical licensing exam. Basically, if you're planning to stay in Poland, if you're planning to do your internship, actually, sorry, not for internship. Yes, first question I get is LEC needed for internship? No, it's not needed for stage for internship in Polish. I'm talking about I'm doing stage in Polish, so for that you don't really need LEC. It is a national medical licensing exam. It means you need this exam to get the license, and you get your license after doing stage. LEC and stage, LEC and internship are two basic requirements for getting licensed as a practitioner in Poland. So no, you don't need LEC for starting internship, but you need it if you want to be a fully licensed practitioner in Poland. You need both LEC and internship. So you can also do LEC during your internship, as I'm also planning to do. I have done LEC once and I did it in English. There was some miscommunication because I think in my poster it was written I did LEC in Polish. I did not do LEC in Polish. I have done LEC in English. So basic things here once again. as a foreigner, okay, let me just make it more simpler for you. If you have a European passport, if you are European, you can actually do LEC in Polish, and that will be the only requirement, as far as I'm aware, that will be the only requirement for you to start stage in Polish in Poland. If at any point I'm not clear, please let me know. If you are a European citizen, you will need only LEC in Polish to start internship in Poland in Polish. You will not need any other things, any other document. I don't know about the other documents, but you will not need any other exam, any other external like language exam or something, as far as I'm aware. Coming to my way, third world country nationals who don't have a European passport, the way which I took to enter into internship, I can talk in more detail and certainty about it. So for you guys, you have an option to do LEC in English or Polish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to pass, you can pass LEC in English or Polish. And once again, I'm saying you don't need LEC for internship to start internship. But when you're doing the LEC exam, most of us, we want to do it because we need to have an idea. We try to get an idea how it is. In the 5th year, you have to finish 8 semesters of your studies to be able to take LEC exam. So technically 5th year. That's when also I did my LEC exam, 5th year or 6th year. I'm not 100% sure right now. I did it in 5th year as far as I remember. So but yeah, 5th or 6th, it doesn't really matter. So you can do your LEC exam in 5th or 6th year. And third world country nationals, you can do it in either Polish or English. It really doesn't matter because you have to give Polish language medical exam as well to start your internship. LEC does not have a lot of significance for you if you do it in Polish for your internship. Okay, of course, it gives you an idea. It helps you to become better with your medical Polish and stuff. But as an internship, it's not a requirement to do LEC in Polish, and it doesn't help you for that moment. So I did my LEC in English. Okay, so what to study and where to study. Coming to that, I have provided the link here. I don't know if it will be possible because I'm sure this. Okay, let me try to put these.
I will share the link. Don't worry.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So this links, there are few links, and please, if you want, guys, please keep those links in your record if you are planning to do LEC or this exam, which I will later talk about in Poland, because these links are very important and there are only few and they are basically it. You don't have to depend on anything else if you're looking for information. So for LEC, number 1 step, this is the link which I have provided. It has all the information you need about the exams that doctors have to give in Poland. So LEC, LDEC, which is a LEC for dentistry, also specialization. There is also a column for specialization, and all the information there is there, what exams you will need to take after you finish your specialization. So this is the most important link. When you click that link, something like this sort opens. I put a window screenshot for you. Okay, going to next thing. Yes, another question which I very much get is how does the exam look like? Because I think most of you are aware, as per the law in the country, 70% of the questions in LEC should be from the question base, which this website has also provided you. I have put the screenshot here, where you will find, once you click the Lecage, trust me guys, once you navigate it, it's kind of difficult, but you will find it. There is a section with Baza Pitain, which means these are the base question base for you for LEC and for LDEC. It is written clearly here. This is where you can study from. Basically 70% of questions are directly from it, and when I'm saying it, yes, they are. If someone says they are not, until they have changed, because there is I don't know if you guys are aware, there is a discussion going on in the health chamber, let's say, to change this rule because it makes it very easy for us to pass this exam. The pass rate of this exam is around 99%. So until that rule is changed, it is 70% of questions from question bank. I have done it. It is. I can guarantee you. 30% questions are new. They have given you all the information of where the questions will be, not where the questions will be from, but the topics are listed in the website, which you need to study for the rest 30% of questions if you are planning to just get a very good score in leg. Of course, passing leg is enough for your to get a license, but as I will talk about it later, for specialization, the basic requirement is a very good score in leg. Your specialization choice, if you get it or not, depends totally on leg. So that is the reason why even after I pass, even after passing my leg, I am planning to do it again for specialization purpose. I need to score better in leg to be able to undertake specialization. So yes, and where to register for leg? I have given another website for you. This is the place where you register for leg. And once you click that website, I don't have the screenshot for it, but once you click their website, it will ask you. It's fairly simple actually. You present the website, you click the website. There they have the menu for you to present basically what you need, some documents you will need, and you have to pay certain fees. As far as I remember, if you're taking it in Polish, it was around 250. I think in foreign language it was around 400. So yes, this is the website you need to register. And what else? Next, how to study for leg. So guys, studying for leg is not hard. I will say that it's not very difficult. You can imagine learning for an exam, a medical licensing exam, you have absolutely no clue about. Then studying for exam, you sorry, you I'm sorry, I can't catch sometimes English words from the time I started working. Learning for an exam which you have absolutely no clue about versus something you know about. You can imagine how much better it is for a person, because as far as I know, the passing mark is around 56% or 60% in leg. Imagine the passing mark is around 56 to 60%. I'm not sure exactly 56 or exactly 60%. And you have 70% of the questions with you. It's not very difficult, trust me. Also, I'm not saying it's very easy because there are around 3,000 questions in the question bank. So it's not the easiest thing, but also it's not very difficult. If you're dedicated, I studied for this exam around 1 month, but I'm telling you, I did not score very well. I passed the exam. It was enough for me to have an idea. But I'm telling you, with 1 month of dedicated study, I was able to pass the exam easily in first time. So it's not very difficult to pass this exam. So given now talking about the question basis, we have on the left side, if you see, there is LEC exam. The screenshot I have put, this is an app you can get in App Store and Android also, I'm sure. So LEC exam, this is the one. And in my time, there was one more app. The website I've put here, leknalek.pl. So this used to be an app also before, but right now, I don't know if it's a Apple problem or something. I can't find it in my App Store. So leknalek.pl, it used to be, they used to have an app as well. So I personally used this website, and when they had an app, I used that app to study for this exam. They have all the questions. It's not, I will say, ideal 100% to study from this, at least from this leknalek.pl, because there are certain questions, let's say around 100 questions, they don't have answers to it. And you don't really know if the answers they have provided are correct or not. But no one has the time to, at least I did not have the time to cross check 3,000 questions in the question bank. So I went with whatever answers they were marked, and I prayed that it's going to work out, and it did. So at least, whatever you need, you have the correct answers for that. Now, I have put the link for a Google Doc. I don't know if everyone can open it or not. If not, later you can tell me and I can just I don't know how, but share a screenshot about it. This is basically, this document has a comparison of databases, LEC exam and leknalek.pl. Please listen to me carefully, LEC exam and leknalek.pl. I'm not talking about the screenshot on the right side, Lek Bazapitine CEM. This is because this is okay. Let me just tell and finish it off. So the picture on the right side, Lek Bazapitine CEM. This is something new which I'm seeing, but I read good reviews about it, and maybe they have made something some new app, you know, for the database. I'm not sure. I have not tried it. Let me say the screenshot on the right. I have not tried it at all, but I have just put it for your reference. Maybe you guys will need it. Maybe it's actually good. I have not tried it. I will try it for sure when I'm preparing for my LEC exam. I will 100% try it. But for now, I don't have much information about that app. But for your reference, you can have a look. Okay, so this document which I've shared, it has a comparison of databases, how they are different, how they are similar, and you have to pay some price for the subscription. So Lekna, lek.pl usually has good discounts, and I got the subscription for, I don't know, 1 month or 2 months for 20 zloty. And the normal price is around 70 zloty, but I got it for 20 zloty. So that's why I chose Lekna, lek.pl. It was fairly cheap, as you can see. And for the app on the left side, the LEC exam, I'm not sure. It was around 70 zloty, I think, the subscription. So it's not that bad overall. You can check in that Google document your comparison. You can compare the databases and choose whichever suits you. I hope that is so. Basically, that is what you need to study for LEC exam. If you're trying to just pass it or crack it in first attempt to be able to get a license. If you're planning to get a good score, guys, you have to study. They have given a set of topics from which the questions will be. You have to find the material, you have to find the books, you have to study from there. It is MCQ based questions, 4-hour long exam. Of course, makes you nervous, but it's, trust me, it's doable. It's doable. It's not something, if you don't do it in first attempt, for sure you will do it in second attempt. So do not worry much about it. If you're planning to take the exam, please, it depends on the pace of your studies really, and how much you get. 2 months I think is a lot of time for studying for LEC. Personally, I think it's enough time, 2 months of time to start and finish preparation for LEC. There are like 3,000 questions, so you can imagine you can start earlier if you want. So it depends on you guys really. Next thing, this is a screenshot I have put because a lot of people were asking me this question, that is, because as I said, the discussions are around to change this rule of 70% questions in from the question base. So many people were asking me, is it still true or not? So guys, this, as I said, it's a law that it should be from the question base. I have put this link. It is the official website. It's called Internetowe System Aktów Prawnych. It is legal laws which are in Poland. It's the official website for legal laws in Poland. If there is any change, in the law, you will get to know it. Trust me, it will be everywhere. You will get to know it. And you can also check this website if there are any changes, not just related to LEC. It's a website for laws. So you can find any law or anything. If you're planning to sue anyone also, you know, you can get help from that. Anyway, jokes aside, this is the legal basis for the claim that 70% of questions should be from question base. So use this website to check if there are any changes in the law or not. I've put a screenshot. So far for this year, LEC has 70% questions from the question base still, so you're safe. Also, I found this. This is an article written by a doctor itself, Gushkevich. So this is also written by a doctor. So it says LEC of spring 2026. So in spring 2026, it's gonna be the same. 30% of questions are going to be outside and 70%. So you guys are in still safe zone. If you want to take LEC this year, please go ahead. Please take it in September. You will have the same rule binding for you guys. I think that's basically it about LEC exam. I hope I helped you in some way so far, but of course I will take questions at the end if you have. Next basic question which I get all the time is Polish language. How did I manage to learn Polish language? How much time it took me? Guys, I don't have anything about in the presentation about it, but I will talk about it because that's the only thing I can do to help you guys at the moment. Guys, Polish language. When did I start learning it? I started learning Polish in around August, mid September, start of 2024. That's when I started learning Polish. I was taking group classes. I realized it doesn't work for me because their pace is slower, and usually in Wuj, the group classes are only 2 times a week, which is very much lesser than what I wanted. So I chose to go for personal classes with a friend of mine. He's also a dentist. He's practicing in CKD in Polish. So we both did it together. And we started doing it, we started taking individual classes together. Also, one question I get usually is do you really need classes for Polish? Guys, as you know, Polish is one of the most tough language in Europe. Personally, I would recommend you do not set unrealistic goals for Polish. I have done it and I have failed. I have seen people set it and I have seen them fail. Of course, I'm not saying that it's something shameful or something. Of course, it's something new. We don't know the language. So, but I'm telling you from my personal experience, I tried self-learning. I don't know if it's impossible or something. It was not possible for me. Not something that the kind of grammar that Polish has, it was not something that I could crack by myself. Maybe, of course, there might be geniuses around, and maybe if you give enough time to it, you might be able to. For example, if you have enough time to search through the books, through YouTube, of course, because there are certain things which I did it for a certain period of time. I was trying to learn through YouTube. And also, it's not a very well-known language for everyone to teach online, you know. So there are not very well good sources available to self-learn Polish, let's say. So I chose a teacher because I think that was easier and better for me. So yes, uh, for I will tell you because we are slowly moving towards the main internship exam, which is called NIL, which you need to start internship in Polish. So for that exam, if you're learning Polish for that exam, you need around B1, B2 level of language. Officially, let's say on papers, you need all the time. I've just heard B1 and B2 level of language. But as you can imagine, I started in the end of 2024. I was graduating in 2025. I did not really have a lot of time to do A1, A2, B1. I tried my luck and I finished only A2 level of language. I'm still doing my B1 level, guys. I did A2 level of language, but I'm not saying that everyone can do it. Please don't take me wrong. I'm just telling my personal experience, but it is not that I have known many people who have tried to go for medical Polish after A2 and they couldn't because it's not very easy, trust me. So that's why on the official, on the papers, everywhere it is written you need around B1, B2 level of language to start medical Polish. But yeah, as I said, I did not have the time for that, enough time for that. So I chose to study very well till A2 to understand the grammar, to have an idea, and then directly go for medical Polish. So I started with general Polish, A2 level I completed. Then I went for medical Polish because at the end of the day, medical Polish language exam is the one which you need to pass for starting internship in Polish. So first you can't, and please do not do the mistake of directly starting medical language Polish. It is not gonna work out. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work out. It is not the way to do it. You can't start the toughest part without having a slight idea about how the language or the easiest part even look like. Please don't do that mistake. You will demotivate yourself and you will give up. So please start with general Polish. Try to do at least minimum A2 level, at least minimum. And if you have the confidence to go ahead with medical Polish, please do that. But I recommend if you have enough time with you, if you're starting early, do B1. I don't know if you really want to do B2, but B1 is, I think, the optimal spot for you to start medical Polish. Do B1, have a very good foundation about Polish language, general, and the grammar of Polish, and then go for it. So it gives you much more confidence, guys. Trust me, for medical Polish, once you're aware with this, if you have a strong foundation, also, it's not just a medical Polish exam. You need to learn the words and give the exam. It is something you need to have confidence to speak. You need to have the confidence to understand and frame the sentence properly. For that, you need general Polish. So please start with general Polish. Find a good teacher, find good books, try to study. And of course, books are not just the only thing which will help you develop the language. I was coming to that point that books will give you the foundation, the understanding of what you need to speak. But other ways which are used to develop my language, because trust me, guys, I'm one of those persons. I don't have any Polish friend. I never had in my university time, also later. It's not that I couldn't make, but I just didn't have close friends enough to speak in Polish. So I'm coming from that, and that's why I'm telling that yes, what Kishore is saying is 100% right. And if you are like me, who did not have a single Polish friend, who did not have a single Polish colleague to speak with, do not worry. Do not worry. You have many other ways. I did it. I will tell you what I did. Some tips from my side. Guys, of course, communication is very important. If you have Polish friends, if you have Polish partners, if you have someone to speak in Polish with, it's amazing. It's gonna be best way for you to learn. For others, for people who have experiences like me, guys, I listen to podcast. I try to listen to podcast in Polish. I try to have my few pages in my social media feed in Polish, of many doctors as well I follow in Polish, so that somehow I will try to learn words, try to get new phrases. That I'm a visual learner. I learn listening to audios, so that helped me a lot. Next thing, even my Netflix, guys, when I was watching, I tried to sometimes watch Polish series. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. Even if I watch English series, till date, my subtitles are in Polish. They help me, trust me, a lot to learn new words. They help me to learn new words and the spellings of those words. I will tell why it's important, because why spellings were important for me. Because for the Polish exam, which I will talk about later, nil Polish exam, you kind of have to write. So that helped me in getting the words to be able to understand what they're saying and write those words. So in that way, it was important. Next, to improve my speaking, guys, I can't tell you enough, you will not believe me enough, but I had zero confidence. I still don't, I'm not 100% confident. I'm not saying I'm a pro, I'm a native. No, I'm not. I don't speak Polish well. I still don't. I have a lot of problem every day going to hospital when I interact with patients. I still have problem, of course. Everyone will, you all will. We are not native Polish people. So it's not gonna be like so simple. Guys, join some Facebook groups. There are people who are looking for language exchange. I found good friends online who were so kind to exchange language with me, English for Polish. I am still in contact with people. I still have those lessons. Every day, meet online, try to find people who are looking for language exchange, talk to them. And yes, this is one of the ways that will help you to develop language. That's what I used when I didn't have any close Polish friends or something. I went online, I found people, we exchanged English for Polish. And yes, and at the end of the day, it's a very personal experience learning a language. So it really depends on you, the way you are comfortable, the way you find to learn a language. That was short way of how I developed my language. I'm still learning. I'm still going to classes. I'm telling I'm doing B1 still. So I'm still on the way of improving my language. Okay. Okay, now the main part. Why we finished, we graduated. So far, we took the LEC exam, we learned Polish. Now we have to graduate and we have to start internship. How does that work? Guys, I have got a lot of questions about this topic, and that's why I would like to repeat it very carefully. Once you graduate, you need to get your diploma first. You have to have your diploma in your hand to be able to register for NIL exam, which is the Polish medical language exam, which you need to start internship in Polish. You do not need a general Polish language exam, B1 level language exam. You do not need all of that. You need a Polish medical language exam conducted by NIL. NIL is Naczelna Izba Lekarska. It is the National Medical Chamber. It is conducted by National Medical Chamber in Warsaw. They conduct this exam, and you need to pass this exam to start internship in Poland. You can register for this exam only after getting your diploma. That's why the uncertainty is so haunting, because I graduate. I had the acceptance from other countries to do internship, but I wanted to give a chance to Poland, but that was only possible after diploma, after getting my diploma. And till then, the deadline for other countries' internship programs would end. So it was a lot of dilemma for me at that time, and it took a lot of courage for me to choose Poland, because it was not easy decision really. So yes, you have to be very sure that you are ready to, because guys, imagine if you choose Poland, God forbid, if it doesn't work out for you, you're gonna waste 1 year. You're gonna, let's not use the word waste. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to take a 1 year break, let's say, to be able to start internship again in another country, in another program. So you have to be very careful and thoughtful about why you're taking this decision. Yes, so let's go. You get the diploma, you register for the NIL exam. Next step, you pass the NIL exam. Next step, and you submit your documents for internship. The procedure is like that. It's not so complicated. Get the diploma. After diploma, register for NIL exam, pass the NIL exam, and submit your documents for internship in the relevant office. I will talk about that also, don't worry. So for NIL exam, talking about NIL exam, many people asked me about this exam. Guys, I have listed another link for you. This is nil.org.pl. This is the official website of Naczelna Izba Lekarska, the medical Polish medical chamber who conducts this exam. So you will get all information about this exam in that website. This is the screenshot I'm putting for you. Once you open this website, you will see something like this and how to register for this exam. The steps are quite simple. I have made it even simpler for you in this slide. What you need to do, you need diploma in your hand, you need application in your hand. You can get that application on their website. Then what else? And you need to pay a certain fees, which is 500 zloty to the NIL bank account. You can submit the application via post. I did it via post. And then easy, they contact you directly with the exam date. It's not difficult. You get the date within 1 month, as it is written on the website. You get it within 1 month of submitting your documents. So you just submit the documents and you wait. The documents are nothing. You need diploma, you need proof of payment, and you need an application form. It's fairly simple. And yes, they contact you by themselves for the exam date, and you agree for that exam. Go to Warsaw, take the exam. Simple. Okay. Next, what? How does NIL exam look like? Okay, guys, NIL exam. It is a language exam, but it is not something I have come across ever in my life. It doesn't look like IELTS. It has all the same parts, but trust me, it doesn't look like IELTS. It doesn't look like any other English exam. Maybe some other language exam, but I have not taken any other language exam, so I don't know. But at least not like IELTS and OET at all. It looks completely different. So there are 4 parts: dictation, listening test, oral test, and practical test. Very quickly, I will try to summarize this for you. So dictation, guys, this is what I was talking about. So you start with dictation. What is dictation? They will play an audio for you about a medical disease or a medical case. There will be an audio, and you're supposed to write it down on a plain sheet of paper. You're supposed to listen and write it down. It's a medical paragraph. It's a medical essay. So you need to know medical terminology, of course, to be able to write it down. This is one of the worst parts, I would say, actually the worst part of the exam, dictation, because they are very strict with their criteria to pass you, very strict. And even Polish people, as far as I know, have difficulty in passing this part. So, uh, this is about dictation. You listen to an audio, you write it down. Listening test. This was a nightmare because I did not imagine a listening test can be like this. What they do, they play an audio for you again. Okay, so you're given question paper facing upside down. Like you cannot see the questions, you cannot see anything. They give you a question paper. You're not supposed to see the question paper. They play an audio for you. It is a story about a patient and it's his or her journey in the uh, hospital. For example, a patient comes, he has this and this and that symptoms. He goes for this and that exam. In that exam, so and so is found. He's prescribed so and so medicine. He was diagnosed with so and so problem. Okay, you have 4, 5, 6, 7 things in this whole audio which they play for you. They play it once, if I'm not wrong, maximum twice, but I think so it's once. They play that for you just once. You listen to the audio whole time. And after that audio finishes, you turn your paper and you have the questions and it's an MCQ. So you have question and your options and you're supposed to mark it. I have never seen a listening test like that. It was something crazy for me. So that is how their listening test looks like. Once again, there is audio with a lot of information. After the audio finishes, you turn your paper and you have the questions and you're supposed to answer it. You don't listen to the audio again. Okay. And oral reading, also my nightmare. This is the part which I failed in the first attempt. I gave this exam 2 times, guys. I passed it in the second attempt. The good part about this exam, I'm sorry, I'm kind of deviating, but the good part about this exam is you have to retake only the parts which you fail. You don't have to retake the whole exam, only the parts which you fail. I passed dictation and listening in my first attempt. I failed oral and practical exam. And that was because I will tell you guys, uh, I had zero confidence in speaking. As I said, I did not. That was the first ever time I sat with Polish people. And by the way, there is a committee who examines you. First 2 parts, it's simple because you're in a room with 10 people and they all are doing the same thing as you. They're writing and they're listening to the audio and marking the answers. 10 people in one room. Very good, very peaceful, let's say. For the next parts, reading and practical exam, they are face to face with examiners. There is a committee, 2, 3 people in the committee, minimum 2. If you're lucky, maybe 1. So usually it's a committee. They are doctors. They are doctors. They have experience, but they are not testing. Trust me, they are not testing your medical knowledge. They are testing your language. As long as you speak something related to medicine and confidently, they will not fail you. So, yes, this oral reading and practical exam, you have it face to face. That was the first time for me sitting face to face with someone Polish and a doctor and speaking in Polish. I froze. Guys, I was so nervous, I froze. I couldn't speak a single word. And of course, they did not pass me. They tried to help me, but guys, I couldn't speak. So I couldn't pass my exam because of that. It is reading and practical exam. How does reading look like? Not like any other normal reading procedures. So you are given an A4 size condensed text completely about some disease in Polish. There are a lot. You have ascites, for example, or gynecological issues, fibrosis, or something. You will get it in one of the disease, and you have all the information about that disease in that A4 size paper. It's condensed, guys. It's not a small sheet of with less information. It's a lot of information. So you have the basic informations like what is the disease, the symptoms, the etiological factors, uh, the treatment and the course of the disease, the mechanism of the disease. It depends on what, if you're lucky, you get an easy disease. If you're not lucky, you get a difficult disease. There is a shit system. Basically, there are papers you choose a number, and then you get the disease. So it's all based on luck. It's not biased. It's not partial that someone will get easy, someone will get hard. It's your luck. So you read out the text loudly for the examiners sitting in front of you. You read it out loud, the whole text once. Okay. Then you turn the sheet of paper you were reading, and there are 5 questions which you need to answer now without referring to the text again. Yes, crazy. So you need to read and it's kind of a memory exam for me all of the time. You need to memorize something. So you need to have it in your head. But trust me, it's not very difficult topics. First time I had RSV virus. Second time I had I had stones, kidney stones. So it was a gallbladder stone, sorry. So it was not that difficult for me. At least I had an idea about the disease, you know. So liver necrosis, something like this, you will have topic, some general topic, not something rare disease or something. But yeah, you read it out loud, you turn the page, you have 5 questions, and you answer those questions. Oral. It's a oral exam. You can't read and fill like in IELTS something, some blanks or something. No. And then you can't refer to the text, by the way, again, just once you read. Kind of crazy, yes. So this is the reading part. Practical exam, I think one of the most chill and easy part, because it's a doctor-patient conversation. They give you a case. There is one case as far as I know. Yes, there is one case. Here it's written 2 cases. Can be 2. For me, it was just 1. They give you a case, and the examiner is the patient. You are the doctor. You answer those. You take a medical interview. You suggest diagnosis. They can ask you some medical questions, also basic questions, because they just want to know if you know the terminology, if you know what you're talking about. I had a case with asthma, for example. They asked me what kind of sounds I hear. So, wheezing and all. They basically they try to understand. Do you have an idea? Are you really a medical graduate? Kind of that. But nothing serious, guys. It's not something they're trying to scare you or something. Yes, as I said, it is with a committee, it's face to face, it's a personal exam, you have personal experiences. Some people are nice, some people aren't, some examiners are very strict, some examiners are lenient. So, guys, it's your luck also playing here. But in my personal opinion, both of the times I had good people. They tried to help me, they were nice, understanding, because I'm a foreigner and not even of European origin, or Slavic language origin. So they were understanding and patient with me. I was not 100% perfect, but yeah. In second time, I was more, when I went for the exam, I took the exam 3. Okay, let's talk about it, because also that's a question. If you fail the exam, what next? Guys, if you fail the exam, it's not the end of the world. You can take it again. The best part, as I said, you have to retake only the failed parts. So, guys, I think, and it depends on them when they will give you the date. According to the law, you can get the date only 6 months after doing the first attempt. But there are leeways. You can just write a letter to them, that you want to take the part exam earlier, you want to register for your internship, and you usually get around it and you get the date. But nowadays, the number of people, since the Ukrainian and Russian war happened, the number of Ukrainian people taking this exam has increased very much. And because of that, there are a lot of people taking this exam and they don't really give the dates so easily. I got my date in 3 months after the first attempt. And it was not the case, as I know previously you got it in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. But me and my friend, both of us, we got the date in 3 months after after doing the first attempt. So and it's exactly the same procedure. You give exactly the same documents and the same fees. It's the same thing. You don't have to pay exactly the same 3 documents you submit. And again, they contact you with a date. And because they have a history of what you failed, what you don't, they decide a date for you. I got it in 3 months. Maybe you can get it earlier, maybe you can get it later. So, and also, by the way, I wrote a letter to them to accelerate my process and get my date earlier. Otherwise, the law is, as I said, 6 months. So I think that's it for the NIL exam. Of course, I will talk next about the sources to study. Okay, guys, the two holy grails, main sources to study. Język polski w medycynie. This is the best guide I have. Okay, and also, firstly, people ask me, is there any course or anything I recommend? No, I do not recommend any course for you. I tried, I don't know, but I did not find a good teacher, or I have not found anyone who has found a good teacher to uh, do this nil exam course. There is nothing like nil exam course, nil medical polish exam course. There is nothing like that, because this exam does not have public information so easily available. So not many people are aware about this exam. Not many people know what to teach, how to teach. But I kind of, from the people I know, from the courses I took, I kind of at least found good sources to study the exam. That is one thing. uh, the only, and there was a lot of self study in this. So at least I found good sources to study. This is the book which is given here, Język polski w medycynie. One of the best books for you to develop your medical polish. It has all the diseases divided system by system, and all the parts of your of each system in Polish and with English translation side to side. So it's a very good source to develop your medical vocabulary in Polish. I highly, highly, highly strongly recommend this book for your terminology, you know. Then I have listed this page, mpkropka.pl. I think I don't know if you guys know it, but it's one of the best, generally, one of the best websites for medical medical journals, medical articles. It has a lot of medical articles. Some of them you need to be a member, let's say a doctor to, but many, many, many of them you can just look it up for free, enough for you to practice. And this one actually will help you with your reading part, because as I said, reading part is text, A4 side text with condensed information. So this has all that. I used this to, you know, get information about the disease, make my own text, A4 size text with random information about the disease, and then I practiced it with my teacher. So basically, I tried to make my own way of studying. I didn't have a course. I found later, after my first attempt, when I had an idea how the exam looks like, I found a teacher, one of very good teacher, who teaches general Polish very well. But as she's a very good general Polish language teacher, I explained her how my exam looks like, and I gave her the information how the exam looks like, as in like the reading part and speaking part, what I failed, and I need to practice that. She was kind enough to use this website, mpkropka.pl, to prepare custom texts for diseases. I gave her the list of diseases, because she's not a doctor, she had absolutely no clue about it. I gave her a list of 20 diseases, 30 diseases, and we practiced face to face every day. I took classes from her every day, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, depending on how it was. I did interviews with her. I practiced my texts with her. She prepared the text. She prepared questions for me. I practiced it like that with her. So there was no teacher, but I found you have to find a way, you know, somehow to study this by yourself. This is what I did. For uh, dictation part, guys, I would recommend, if you have a Polish friend, it is very nice. But because I did not, I did something very crazy. Try to find something online, as in like which converts your text into dictation. I did that actually very late, but like it worked for me, guys, because I did not have anyone who can read out the text in Polish for me. So I went online, I found text to audio converter. I put my text in there, random text I found from mpkropka.pl, for example. I copied a paragraph, I put it in there, and it converted into a Polish dictation for me. But of course, it's a machine, so it was not a very natural way of natural person speaking, because for your exam in dictation, a person speaks. It's a doctor who is speaking, you know, it's a normal person who is speaking, it's not a machine. But at the end of the day, you know, I had to find a way, because I didn't have a person, and it helped for me. These online dictations, I played those dictations and I tried to write it down. And it turned out well for me. So one of the recommendation will be that if you guys don't have someone to study in Polish for you. What else? Next. Okay. So for now, I will give this much information about Kishore. I'm sorry, but I see the time for the meeting is ending. Will it be a problem?
No, it won't be the problem. Don't worry.
Okay, okay, okay. So I think that's all for now for this exam and the way to study this exam. Later, if you guys have questions, of course, I will answer it. Okay. So you passed your NIL exam. Next spot. You have to submit your documents for internship. Many people, including me, have absolutely no idea what do we do after getting all the info, after passing all the stuff for the exam. What do you do next? So you go to oil. Okręgowa Izba Lekarska. This is the uh, regional medical chamber. Okręgowa Izba Lekarska. Short oil. Everyone knows it by oil. You go to oil to submit your documents. Guys, Nachalna Izba Lekarska NIL. It is the national medical chamber, and they do the exam. And then once you pass the national exam, you come to the regional level. You go to your particular region of your particular region where you're staying and want to do your internship. For us, it will be Okręgowa Izba Lekarska, Łódź, in Łódź. So we have to go here. I'm putting again the link for their website. Guys, you don't need any other information. You don't need any other website for information. Everything for your uh, for your internship and for your residency, you will find on this website. Everything they have in this website. So this is the website which deals with doctors and residents and specialists. They are, as I told you, they are regional medical chamber. They deal with doctors. Everything you will find in this website. SEM, as here, which I was showing you, this is for exams. So if you have any question about LEC exam, if exams which doctors have to take, you will find here. If you want to find the procedures which you have to, apart from the exam, this is the website. Oil, you go to oil. Guys, I have marked it here for you. Lekaj Stajista, it means intern doctor. Once you click there, you will have all information about, sorry. You will have all information about what documents you need to register for internship. So this is the main place, oil.wuj.pl. Okay. Next. All the information. If I say everything, everything is there. This is a screenshot of the information they have put when the opening for internship application submission time opens for internship. They put it out there. Still, they have the information that people who want to start from 1st March can submit from 9 February. So everything you will find here. You don't need to ask anyone. Just go to the oil website and find it. And guys, you can register for internship 2 times in a year, in March and in October. October is the first official intake, let's say, because you graduate in June, July, and you have you can start your internship in October. And but the sad part here is because we graduate around June end, we get the diploma, let's say June end, July first week. At least for my year, it was like this. So the application date to register for submit all your documents for internship is 31 July. It was 31 July last year. So for example, from 1st July to 31st July, you have around a month time to get your diploma, pass the NIL exam, and submit your documents for the internship. If you're not someone who has been practicing in Polish, or who has been in who has not been studying, let's say, or practicing in Polish, it's not very easy. For me, for example, it didn't work out. I couldn't pass in my first attempt, my NIL exam. I got the date 3 months later, so I couldn't start at that time. So I couldn't start in October. The only option I had, there is something I have heard that you can official intake, next official intake is March. If you miss the October deadline, next official intake is March. But there is some way you can kind of like write a request letter or something to start earlier. It is another procedure. Also, you can just like email them and ask about the procedure, call them and ask about like if you want to start earlier. There is a certain way to do it, I'm sure. Uh, but also, unfortunately, I passed that deadline because I wanted to start in January, but because of Christmas and everything, I passed that deadline to submit my documents earlier, and I couldn't even start in January. And I had to start by the end of February, beginning of March. So yes, but yes, there are ways. You guys, because I did not have information, you guys have. Hopefully, it will help you if you're planning to do internship in Polish. This way, I absolutely had no information like these. So it took me a lot of time. Okay, guys, next. This is the website with all the information, as I said. The documents. The documents which you need for internship. Guys, they have it on the website. Everything is there. You have like 10-15 documents, nothing so crazy. Also, as you will see here, they have Neosec W1. This is the application which you need. Neosec Uzupevnione, which means this is a filled application template which they have given. So, it's not something very crazy. You can look at that completed template and fill. So they're just consent forms and declarations, nothing crazy. Everything is there on the website. You just have to. And for this, and here in this application, of course, you will add your, what is it called? Polish language medical exam that you passed it. You will need it here. And yes, guys, one of the good things is 90% of the time you will get the choice of your hospital. There is a form here where you have to fill your choice of hospitals, first 5 hospitals. 90% of the time you will get it when you go there to because you have to submit these documents personally. When you go to submit, you can ask them. They will tell you if you have a chance of getting it in that hospital or not. My first choice was VAM, and I got it in VAM. So yes, it's not that difficult to get the hospital of your choice. What else about this? Yes, I think for now that's it. You can get the hospital of your choice. And how long this procedure lasts after submitting your documents? Around 10-15 days, I think so. Yes, around 10-15 days, they contact you to come and collect your document, as in you get the confirmation that you're accepted into the system. You can start your internship. You get your um, provisional medical license. Let's say it's not a complete medical license. You get the PWZ number. Some people were asking me, do I need to register for PWZ or something? There is no such procedure. There is no such procedure. You don't have to register for PWZ number. Once you submit your internship documents, you get it by yourself. The PWZ number, they give you that number. It's your license number basically, but like half license. Once you finish your internship, pass your leg, then again you go to oil, and then you get your complete license. So it's like almost like half license for you. But you get it by yourself. You don't have to register. You don't have to do anything for it. And they also give you your ID card as a lekaj, as a physician. So it's everything there. It's not that complicated to do. I put in a screenshot. What is oil? Where do you go? Okręgowa Izba Lekarska. Type it in Google. You will go to Cherwona 3. It's a office. You go there, you submit directly. They're very, very, very polite people, very nice people, very welcoming, very sweet. You can talk to them and give them your documents. And yes, so just for your reference, where is oil? I think that's all for. And then you start your internship. Basically, you go with the documents to your hospital of choice. You sign the contract and stuff there, and you start internship basically. The documentation there is another kind of thing, because you have like million documents to sign, but you will manage it if you passed if you came all the way through here the exam to here. Okay, next, my next favorite question: life as intern, hospitals, rotations. Guys, as I said, hospital, you get to choose your hospital. 90% of the time you will get it. I have heard that getting in CKD is kind of difficult as compared to other hospitals. I can understand because CKD usually has a lot of students as well, and I've heard it's kind of difficult to get into CKD as compared to other hospitals. So if that's helpful for you, my choice was VAM, and it was easy for me to get there. Next, rotations. People were asking me, do you get to choose your rotations? Yes, I get to choose. The best part about it is the best and worst, let's say, because you don't have a plan, you don't have an internship plan, you are given a list of rotations which you have to do. There are 6 rotations, 7 rotations, I don't know. I don't remember exactly. You have to do the rotations. You have to plan your internship, guys. You have to plan which place you are starting, which department you are starting. You have to go to the department. You have to talk to them. That uh, you go to the secretary and you say, "I am like Sajis. I want to do internship in your department for 6 weeks. You have the time you need to do, the duration you need to do your internship. I have to do this for this. Do you have space for me from May 1st to June 6th, let's say? And they say yes or no. If no, you go to another department. So unfortunately, but I don't know about other hospitals. In my hospital in VAM, it's fairly simple. I get the date whenever I want. I planned like 3, 4 more than three. I think till now I have 4, let's say, planned, and I got it easily. I went, I talked, they gave me the date. So it's not that crazy. Yes, you get to do your rotations. Challenges. Things to improve typical day. Guys, my typical day looks like this. I get up, I start work at 8 o'clock. And I would like to tell you, it depends from your department to department what time you start. I start at 8 because I have to attend a morning meeting for the doctors. Some, because you're intern, some departments may just like want you to skip it, may not mind if you're not there because it's not concerning you. But my department insists that like I'm right now doing it in internal diseases nephrology department, and they want me to be present for the morning meetings, so I have to start at 8. I start my day with the meeting. After that, I go on rounds, examining the patient. You are given, of course, you are doing it under supervision of a doctor. You are not alone, you're with some doctor, and the doctor usually has a certain number of patients, has certain rooms allocated to them. So you're responsible for those 2 rooms. I go on rounds. Sometimes in the beginning I went with my doctor, she helped me to understand the system, how it works. Nowadays I go alone on rounds. You go on rounds, you talk to patients, you examine them every day. Then you get access, of course, to the system of the hospital. You update every day, you put in your observations. Next thing, what else? I do this, and then I, of course, assist my doctors. I'm shadowing my doctor all the time. And the typical work day is on paper, it is 7 hours, 35 minutes, which I need to work every day. It depends on your doctor. It depends on the number of patients. Sometimes they leave you early. Sometimes you have to stay 7 hours, 35 minutes exactly. So it really depends on your doctor, on your day, how they want to use you, let's say, as an intern. I do, and then we do sheet. It depends on your doctor, how lucky you are. I have a very good doctor for now in this department. She teaches me well. She helps me. She's patient with me. She understands that I'm a foreigner. It's not easy for me with the language and everything. So, sorry, guys, too much speaking. Okay. Challenge. This is a typical day basically, and also you have to do overtime duties. You have to do 40 hours in a week overtime. Once again, it depends on your doctor. Sometimes they let you go early because, so basically you need around uh, 8 times over, 8 overtime days in a month. 40 hours basically. And every hospital has a different way of, let's say, dividing those 40 hours. Because for my hospital, I can do it in weekdays and weekends. But I'm very well aware some other hospitals, they don't allow it in weekends. You have to do it only in weekdays, 5 hours in whatever days you choose. But I can do it in weekdays, or I can choose 1 10-hour shift in weekend. So it depends on hospital to hospital how they divide your overtime shift. Next, that is a typical overtime day, let's say. sorry, a typical day in my life as intern in VAM. Next, challenges. Yes, guys, I don't speak Polish very well. I still don't speak very well. I don't have the confidence sometimes, especially with native speakers, and especially because you meet a lot of different kind of people in the hospital. Some when people are after are in a like serious state after a stroke, for example, they have aphasia. You can't talk to them properly. Imagine talking in a foreign language when you're not even able to speak that language properly when someone is speaking with you properly, so of course there are challenges. Every day I have some problem. Every day I mess up something, but that's how you learn. It depends. My doctors are very nice. They're very patient with me. They help me. They try to make it as simple as possible with my patients. If they talk about medical stuff, I understand because I'm trained, let's say, for medical terminology. I understand if they have issues, but when they sometimes they go into details about how it happened, they were walking, they fell from this street or something, and then I'm completely lost, like what? But of course I don't show it. I try to understand whatever I get from it, and at the end of the day, you need to summarize it to your doctor what you got to know about the patient. So try not to skip the main things, important things. Challenges, of course there are things to improve, guys. This is something which I noticed and I really want to put it out. One thing that I realized we need to improve in uh, English division students is the confidence to take medical interview. Guys, we are not trained for it. I'm telling you straightforward, we are not trained for it because of the language barrier that we encounter in hospitals. We are not trained for it. And on the other hand, every day I see Polish students coming and taking interviews. It's a completely different experience for me. I did not expect the kind of confidence they have to speak to the patient, the kind of um how can I put it? The kind of confidence they have, the experience, let's say, they have in taking medical interviews. We are not prepped for it. So please, guys, if you're in third year, fourth year, fifth year, please try to talk to the patient. I know language barrier is very difficult, but try to ask your doctor to ask questions. Try to talk to the patient. Try to get medical history. Try to ask about everything. Try to just be ready to take a medical interview anywhere, not just in Poland. It's going to be useful for you later also. And we are not prepped for it. I'm sure, at least I was not very well prepped for it. It took me a lot of time to be confident enough to stand in front of the patient and speak in a foreign language, let's say in Polish, to take medical interview, properly. So one of the things is that. Second, you pass the Polish language medical exam, which is solely medical Polish. You are not prepped for, if you're not prepped for general Polish, it's gonna be so difficult for you. It was for me in the beginning. I was very nervous first 2 weeks because at the end of the day, you are speaking to a real human. They're gonna talk natural general Polish. They're not gonna speak in medical terminology with you. Yes, it's gonna be helpful for you for your observation, medical stuff, blah blah. But at the end of the day, you're speaking to a person. You need to improve your general Polish. Please keep working on your general Polish day to day. Try to talk, try to, because that is the good environment for you to develop your language. Try to talk, try to improve your language, your general language as well. After once you're planning to do your internship in of course your medical Polish language exam is the priority to be able to start internship. I understand that completely. You have to focus first on passing that exam. But after that, please work on your general Polish as well. Don't think that, yes, I passed the exam, I can speak Polish, nothing is going to stop me. No, it's not. You're going to mess it up a lot of times in the hospital. It is a real world experience that time. Okay. I think for now, that's all for my internship part. Next, specialization. It's a empty slide, guys, because I don't have a lot of, as I said, I'm just doing my internship right now. I don't have a lot of experience with it. But as I said, the websites I have provided you, SEM and OIL, they have both the information about doctors and specialization and everything. But I can tell you basic things. Your choice of specialty and if you get into it or not depends completely 90% of 90% depends on your leg score. You need to score very high in leg to be able to get into very competitive specialties like dermatology, radiology, oculist, the eye doctor, ophthalmologist. Yes, for that you need to get very high score in leg for to enter into those specialties. Some of them internal medicine, general surgery, easier to get into with not that good leg score. So yes, and then you do your residency based on whatever time, 4 to 6 years. Then you have a final exam. Panspobe exam in specialty, something like this. It is PES exam basically. You take that exam to become a specialist. Also in Polish, of course. Of course, I don't have a lot of information about that exam. I have not taken it. I have a lot of time for that exam yet, 4 to 6 years at least. So, um, yes, that is some of the basic information about specialization. You need to have a good leg score. And yes, but it's fairly simple procedure as well. Just, have a good leg score, register for it through SMK, the same website you use to register for leg exam. You register through the same website for this residency, starting your residency, and then something like this. It's a lot. I don't have very deep information about it, but both of the websites, if we search through it, I'm sure we will get a lot of information how to do that. Not so difficult. Last slide. Is it worth it? Guys, my honest answer, I will find out. I don't have one yes or no answer for you. We will find out. I'm just doing my internship. I have a long way to go. I have to do specialization. I have to take the specialization exam, everything in Polish. A new experience for me, completely something I did not imagine. I really hope and pray that it is worth it for me because it's a big choice that I made. So, and I hope if you make this choice, it's worth it for you too. And I think for now that's all. I tried to cover all the questions that I got in by the students, and I think that's all for now. Is it true that if you take LEC in Polish, you don't have to take NIL? How long after grad do you have to finish how long after grad do you have to finish stage? Oh my God, guys, just one second. Let me. Oh my God. Yes, okay. Is it true that you have to take, as I told you, it depends on your Europe on your citizenship. So if you are of a European origin, yes, you can take LEC in Polish and you don't have to take the NIL exam. You can directly start stage in Polish. So, but if you are not, if you don't have a European passport, you have to take LEC. I mean, you don't have to take LEC in the beginning, but you have to take the NIL exam for sure. How long after grad do you have to finish stage? Is if there is a timeline. I think 3 or 5 years. To be honest, guys, this information is there on the website. I'm not very sure, but 3 or 5 years, I think you have the timeline. If I'm not 100, but I'm not 100% sure. It's 3 to 5 years something. You have to finish your stage in that time. Okay, I can. Oh my God, if I had known, I could research it, but I'm not one sure. But I'm sure it's 3 to 5 years, guys. Next, do you automatically get a job once you apply, or do they prioritize Polish EU passport holders first? No, you automatically get it. In the internship program, at least directly you get it. You don't, there is no prioritization. That is one of the very good things here. Because, foreigners, they don't really do this pathway. So they don't have a lot of foreigners. Of course, if there is a lot of people doing it, like in UK, as you see, because of that, they have started prioritization. Right now, there is no such thing in Poland. Okay, during an internship, do the doctors talk to you in Polish or English? They talk to me in Polish. Sometimes I'm lucky, like today, I was lucky to have a patient who spoke to me in English, but it's in Polish most of the times. My doctors, they don't know English, so they speak to me in Polish. And how much? Oh my God, just. How much is the average salary for intern doctor? Is it the same across all hospitals, and do they also pay for overtime? Guys, average salary for doctors, you can just put it on internet, the basic salary for intern doctors, and you will find it. It's around, for this year, it's 7,743 zloty brutto, which means without taxes. If you're above 26, they will deduct taxes for you, and it will be the gross will be the net, sorry, will be lesser for you. 7,743, it is without overtime. You get paid for overtime separately. Uh, I don't know if it's different in every hospital. I don't think so. It's going to be the same, I think. For my hospital, it is 125% extra uh, than your basic salary for that day. So, yes, around if you're below 26, you get around 7, 8K in your account, let's say, after overtime and everything included. But every time it change in July this year, it's gonna change. By the way, it's gonna be around 8,843 without overtime, brutto, which is without taxes. Yes, without taxes, like you have to pay taxes on top of it. So 8,843, if I'm not wrong, from July, it's going to have they're gonna change the salary every time. Every time you're just supposed to uh, search it, put it on Google, salary for intern doctors in Poland, and you will get it directly. Next, also, do you pay the full fee when you retake a specific part of the NIL exam? Yes, you take the fee remains the same, 500 zloty for how many ever times you take the exam, whichever part you take. You have to uh, uh, pay 500 zloty. Can you talk about the retake session? For example, in oral reading, how many each session retakes allowed? As many as you want, guys. It depends on you. I know a person who has taken this exam 7 times. I'm not trying to demotivate you, but yes, I know a person who has taken this exam 7 times. That answers your question. You can actually take it as many times as possible. Can you talk about the retake session? Retake session, you go to the thing, you go to the Naczelna Izba Lekarska, the medical chamber in Warsaw. You tell that I'm here for retake exam. They schedule you for it. You go. It's the same thing. You go to the particular hall with the committee, and you have the retake exam with them. If it's oral, can you, for example, in oral reading, I got it was exactly the same. They didn't treat me as different or as a retake session thing or make it easier or harder for me. Nothing. They gave me a text. I read it out loud, and I answered the questions. So it's the same. I don't know if there is something else specifically you want to ask. Yes. How many hours you work in a week? Guys, 7 hours a day, 7 hours, 35 minutes on my paper. On my contract, it is written I have to work 7 hours, 35 minutes a day, 35 minutes a day. But I work lesser. Let's put it that way. If it makes you feel good. I work usually I work less. Sometimes yes, I work the whole time. Usually I work less, but I'm sure it depends on department to department. Once again, it doesn't mean that whole my internship I'm gonna work like less or not, but it depends on department to department. This department doesn't have that many patients. The nephrology department is not as crowded, but if it is, of course I have to stay. It's not like it depends on your doctor. It's very personal, honestly. But as I said, on the contract, it is 7 hours 35 minutes. I have to work that many hours. Can you share the contact information of your Polish teacher? And also for the medical Polish, who helped you? Nice question, actually. I think I can. I have to take permission from her. And the good thing is my Polish teacher and my medical Polish teacher is the same. I told you I found a person and then I explained her how you have to do it for me. And she's very good. She also helped me with medical Polish, actually. But once again, I'm telling you, she's not someone with medical background or something. She has absolutely no clue. I explained her what she has to do, how she can help me. And as she's a great teacher, she helped me with it. So it's the same person. And I don't know how we can do it actually. One way is this. Maybe you have my email from this meeting. Maybe you can email me if you want the contact of my Polish teacher. Maybe I can have your contact, and then I can get back to you after talking to my teacher if you're really interested. But as Kishore said, of course there is a initiative taken by the university as well. So just to answer your question, that is my response. Have you registered as an NPO? Oh, I don't know what that is. So you work on holidays or night shifts? Guys, I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of information about it. But do you work on holidays or night shifts? Yes, I can. I can work on holidays and night shifts if I want, but it's not binding for me to do it because I will tell you, for my overtime, in weekdays I have to do 5 hours. In weekend, if I'm doing, I have to do 10 hours. So I can choose. And also, of course, I'm not doing it alone. I'm doing with under the supervision of some doctor who is doing overtime that day. I have to talk to them and I need to coordinate with them what time they want me to come, what time they want me to go, you know. So I can do it on holidays. I can take night shifts if I want. It depends on your doctor, on your supervisor. Do you have night shifts as in on calls? No, maybe in emergency I will have, but so far in nephrology and internal diseases I don't have. But as I said, I can do it if I want, but I have not done it so far. Not possible for me. Okay, and is there anything else? Because I think I answered everything from here. Okay, I see something. Is there an exam to apply for a specific specialty or is solely based on your leg score? It is based on your leg score if you want to register for your specialty. It's mainly your leg score. What are the leg scores needed for different specialties? Guys, unfortunately, there is no open information about that on the website. Uh, but as far as I know, um, I remember someone. I have a Polish. I know a Polish student who is studying, and she told me about. They publish this every year, if I'm not wrong. This um cutoff for different specialties, but it's not like openly publicly available on their website just for a reference, you know. So I think it's done once in a year, once or is it's not like publicly published. They put in by the end of the by the end of the leg exam, I think results they put it the statistics which they needed for you to pass in leg score to get into specialty. If I don't know if I'm making sense. So it's basically done after you get your results for leg. They have sort of like statistics in their website. If you will see how which specialty needed what score, you know, kind of somehow something like that. But they don't have like openly available cutoff listed on their website, unfortunately, because even I was looking for it. They don't have it written. Is there a prioritization for Polish students over foreigners during the selection of specialty programs? Um, Guys, as I said, I don't have a very deep knowledge about specialty, but I'm sure it's not gonna be like that because I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think internship is more difficult procedure and they have a lot of more participants than specialty programs, you know. And if in internship they're not doing that prioritization, I don't think so. I really don't think so. There is because Poland needs doctors, they need specialists, they need people, so they're not gonna do it at least as of this stage. I'm 90% sure they don't have a prioritization for specialization as well. Do you know how the internship program in Poland compares to other countries like the UK, Ireland, or Malta? I wish I could answer that question with more certainty because I have friends who are doing their internship in UK and Malta, but unfortunately, I'm not in close contact with them. So, but as far as I know, as I've heard, it's much more severe, as in like uh, the workload is much more in UK and Malta. At least I'm sure UK and Malta internship program as compared to Poland. I think the work-life balance here is very nice. I'm able to manage very well both my internship and my personal life. It's not that hectic for me. Of course, the language kind of stresses me out every day, every single day in the hospital, but it's not something that interferes with my daily life. So as far as I know, because also I don't know how does the internship schedule looks like for them. Are they given a set of rotations and the timetable of how they have to do it? I'm not sure about it as well because for here I don't get us. I have to plan my own internship. But I know the workload wise, it is much better here than UK and Malta. And pay, I would say, comparing the pay to the work that I do, that you have to do, I think it is much better in Poland than in UK or Malta. You work a lot, you get maybe good salary for just good salary. I think it's enough salary here for me to survive to live properly. So I think it's I don't know, to be very honest, in detail about how the internship programs are. Workload wise, I know, pay wise, I know, standard of living, I know that I would choose Poland over UK or Malta. When it comes to rent cost, living cost, it's much better in Poland as compared to those countries. How long it took you to reach A2 level in Polish, and how many times per week you were working on your Polish? How long did it took you to reach it? I started in, let's say, August end of 2024. I finished my A2 by December, starting 6th year, let's say.
Okay, that
Yes.
time.
Yes, because I was graduating in 2025. So I finished my 5th year and I was gonna start my 6th year in October. So that way, let's say 6th year. And how long did it, guys, it's a personal, once again I will say it depends on the way you can't set unrealistic goal. Okay, 1 month for A1, 1 month for A2. It doesn't work like this. Polish is not very easy language that you can just like crack. It's not like English, it's not like Spanish for to do it easily. So it takes time. How many times per week you were working on your Polish? Guys, I was taking individual lessons, so uh, it the way it suited to my schedule and my teacher's schedule, we schedule that way. But 3 times, let's say 2 3 times a week. Some weeks were 2 days, sometimes three. Sometimes, for example, I had to go out for a vacation or something. I took like 2 weeks break. So, or sometimes my teacher couldn't, so she took 1 week break, 2 week break. So it was on and off. But I finished it, let's say 3 months. 3 months, let's say I took to finish A2 level. But once again, I would not say just like take it as an example to do it, it really depends on how quick learner you are, how much time it takes for you to understand the language. So yes, I hope that. And how many times per week? There is no set time as how many times I was working on my language. You're constantly in the spiral, you're trying to learn, you're trying to watch something, you're trying to communicate with people. So it's a continuous process. But if I'm taking classes 3 times a week, so yes, I studied according to that also for my lessons. Let's say I studied. So there is no fixed time, but I studied a lot. Let's say, guys, I studied a lot. Because as Kishore said, I very much agree with him that you need to love the language to be able to learn it. And truly, with all my heart, I love Polish. I know many people will not like me saying that. My own best friend doesn't like me when I say that I love Polish, but I love Polish. So in that way, I kind of always, even in my, if you see my ChatGPT history, if you see my Gemini history, all the time I have meaning of this language, meaning of this word, meaning of this word in Polish. Constantly, whenever I heard a word, I'm on my ChatGPT. I'm trying to understand what it means. So yes. Anything else, guys? Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.